VFX Control Tutorial on configuration of the audio, MIDI, and skin. When you first open the software, you will see the auto configuration window. By default, this option will be active. Auto configuration is the setting we recommend. Click on Next and then Finish. When you do this, this means that the audio MIDI controller will be recognized by your software. A couple ways to check is to see if your crossfader is responding. Also, the fader icon on the top right will turn red when the MIDI is active. The options menu on VFX. Let's look at it. First you have the preferences, security, loop assist, bar, tooltips, learning. VFX offers 4 players. Let's look at how we set the preferences on VFX Control. This general window shows you where your media is sourced from. It's known as the media base. The system optimization window is used to lower or increase the memory space that VFX takes on your computer. You can adjust accordingly. Below are other general options. In the Mix tab, in the top window, you can adjust the accuracy of VFX BPM analysis power. The smaller the spread is, the more accurate VFX will be. You need to adjust the spread according to which type of music you want to mix. Below is the automatic cue window, which places an automatic cue on the first beat of a track. Finally, the timing window is where you set the length of fades for autoplay. Now in the Skin tab, you'll be able to select the video resolution of your audio-video mixes. For a laptop, we recommend you use either of the simple skins. Please note that the simple 1440 skin corresponds to full HD resolution. Select and apply whichever skin you want to use. Now let's look at the sound card tab. This is where you configure the sound card preferences. VFX is compatible with all sound card, but renders the best performance using ASIO sound cards. If the audio configuration box is selected, then the sound card is ready to operate. The number 1 corresponds to the master output, and the number 2 output corresponds to the headphones. If you want to change though, just simply select whichever sound card you'd like to use. Now let's take a look at the control panel under the sound card. In the lower left, click on the icon Control Panel. This is where you will be able to control the latency of your music. The lower the number is, the lower the latency will be. Close to confirm, then OK. Your sound card is now set up. Please note that to activate these parameters, you have to restart your system. The Equalizer Gain tab is used to adjust the amount of decibel coming out of your system. You can add or subtract from 3 levels of frequencies: the bass, the middle, and the trebles. In this window, you can also modify the gain. Changes here will influence the volume of your mix. The Video tab is where you can adjust the resolution of your image. Naturally, the higher the resolution, the more resource it will require for your computer to use. Another important thing are the display properties. This is where you can choose on which screen VFX will output the video. Select the screen and press OK. Below are the video configurations. By default, these configurations are set up on Preserve, which makes videos match the standard 4:3 or 16:9 widescreen ratio. By selecting Crop to Fill, you'll make the video compatible with all screens. To dissociate audio-video mixes, uncheck the last box at the bottom. This will give you more mixing options. In the Projection tab, this is where you select masks or frames that will go over the video mix. These must imperatively be in PNG format. Let's look at a few masks and a few frames. These masks and frames are included in VFX when you buy the package. You can use these masks and frames to make your mix a little more creative. To remove a mask or a frame, press Clear. Here are some masks. They are simple forms that go over the video when you are mixing. To select one, press Open, and to remove, press Clear. That's all you need to know about masks and frames. Another thing you need to know is how to modify the projection screen. Here you're simply adjusting the screen according to which form or angle of wall or screen you're projecting on. This feature offers you a great deal of flexibility. To return to the default settings, double-click on any corner. Now let's look at the effects. Effects on VFX Control are combined. This means that for every audio effect, there's a video effect that's triggered. You can choose any combination from our list of effects. Basically here, you can customize all effects with all video effects. To reset this list, click on Default Settings. We'll see more about effects in a further tutorial. Under Control, in the Keyboard tab, this is where you can activate the VFX Control keyboard shortcuts. For this purpose, you need to check that VFX Control is connected to the exact same keyboard that you're using, because otherwise, the shortcuts on the keyboards will not be matching what you are using. The MIDI controllers. Under MIDI Input 1, the VFX controller should be mapped already. You can choose to map another controller to VFX using the MIDI input number 2. All controllers are mappable by using the Learn MIDI function. Finally, Vinyl CD is where you can select which function you want for which player. This is used if you're using a MIDI external controller, either a vinyl controller or a CD controller. You can use time-coded vinyls and CDs as well on VFX Control. Click on Apply to calibrate all these settings. That's all you need to know about the VFX Control preferences. Now let's take a look at our menus. In the file, you'll see the media-based menu. Here is where you can import different libraries from 3 different sources, either iTunes, Windows Media Players, or Serato. Here you can also import and export playlists, open and save sampler sessions. In the media base is where you add music, add video, and scan them to prepare your mixes. In the options menu is where you can deactivate the track loading security and also access the learning MIDI function. This is where you can add a number of players and configure your players. In the Windows menu, you'll be able to define the appearance of your VFX interface. For example, let's look at the sampler. Just check it to make the window appear, and uncheck it if you want to remove it. Now let's look at the crossfader. To have it appear, use the exact same procedure. It appears on the lower left side of the screen. To remove it, go to Windows and uncheck it. You can also choose to have the track wave appearing on top. To remove the track wave, exactly the same thing. The question mark menu is used to access our manual and to find our most recent updates. Click on About You and you'll see which version of VFX you are using. That way you'll know if you need to update to a newer version. Now, let's learn a little bit about the Explorer on the lower left side of the screen. The Explorer is the tool that gives you access to your entire memory of your computer. You can browse files from all drives and subfolders. Just click on them to open and re-click to close. Let's get an overview of the Explorer. Video inputs is where you'll find webcams and cameras. To load these, simply drag and drop on whichever player you want. The different playlists are accessible here. Just load them the same way you would drag and drop. The different types of media bases are here as well. Everything is saved. Every time you do a mix, you'll have everything saved. Samples, you can import them from here. The history is accessible here. So this is a record of every single mix you've had in the past, with perfect timing and all the dates and the days and everything. So this Explorer tool is really convenient because you access everything in your computer simply on the interface of VFX. On the lower right hand side of the screen, this is where you'll see the media base. It's operated with different tabs on the lower side of the bar. The media base in VFX is a library which helps you organize the media with different parameters, working in a similar way as iTunes. In this History tab, for example, you'll be able to see exactly the track list that you mixed with the dates and the times. The Session and Prepare tabs are used to prepare your mixes. If you click on this small arrow on the lower left side of the preview screen, you'll be able to access the full control bar. In there you get a cue, a play pause, a reverse, a loop, and locator keys. This control bar is retractable because all of these controls are accessible on the VFX controller. The screen in the middle of the interface is called the preview screen. It corresponds to the master video output. To get a separate screen, click on the icon on the upper right side of the preview screen. Click on the red cross to close the extra screen. This is all you need to know about the general configuration of VFX Control. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. For more information, go to www.mixvibes.com.